Thank you. Thanks for coming. Always great to see you. It means, of course, we're getting close to getting started here, and we're 10 days out from an exhibition game against Wartburg, and it's a great time of year for us. I got some comments that I'll make, and then, as Nick mentioned, take some questions. Appreciate the staff being here today and filling up the back of the room there. It's great to see everybody over here. Appreciate Kevin and his staff putting together the things that they always do. And then you guys for coming, covering all of our teams. For us right now, as I said, getting started is it's an awesome time of year for us. But your coverage of all of our teams is important to what we do. So I want to thank all of you for being here and for what you do all year round. We are in about 2.5 weeks into this process for us and putting together. It's a daily deal for us right now, and I think that's why it's so much fun for us to be started, as we get to see the guys pretty much on a daily basis as we're putting this together. And as we do every year, the process is about putting together a championship level team. And this year's process is no different. In 2.5 weeks, what has happened and what have we learned so far? A couple things individually are Wyatt Lohaus is in tremendous shape. He's healthy. He had spent the better part of the last 2 years where he's been banged up with a couple of different injuries, and he is healthy right now. As I mentioned, he is in great shape. He has practiced very well. One of the areas where he has taken some steps forward is in terms of his communication. And as our most experienced player, his voice is very important to who we are. It's very important to what we do on the practice floor. It will be very important to how we develop our team is why it's continued communication and his leadership. A.J. Green, Trey Burrow, Biggie Goldman, 3 of our new guys. I tell you, A.J. Green has got a tremendous work ethic, his competitiveness, his discipline, his determination. Those things are all at an extremely high level, and he is a terrific player. But what I have found out, and obviously known him for a long, long time, but what I have found out being around him every day is he has earned every bit of it. The success he's had in high school, the level of player that he is right now, he has earned every single bit of that. And it's been fun to be around. It's had a positive impact on his teammates already. Just love his competitiveness. Trey and Biggie are both great fits for what we're doing, for what we want to do. I think, as we all know, the college game has changed. The game of basketball has changed. The versatile, undersized guys that are playing small forward, power forward, center, those positions has made for a very different game. And Biggie and Trey fit into that for us. And so both of those guys have been important. Trey's got a lot of versatility. He's got good size. Biggie is almost 6'10", very skilled, and both of those guys, as I mentioned, going to be important to what we do. And the thing about all 3 of those guys that's got us excited is they're playing at a fairly high level. They don't know a lot right now, but they're playing at a fairly high level. But what they'll be like in 2 weeks, what they'll be like in 4 weeks, what they'll be like 6 weeks from now. Just feel like all 3 of those guys are going to get better and better here early on in their careers. Spencer and Isaiah, guys that have played for us quite a bit, ready to increase their roles, ready to take on more responsibility. Spencer has been important in terms of scoring the basketball for us, but I tell you, he's got a little bit of an edge to him. And for the group that we've got right now, Spencer letting that be part of what he's doing every day, allowing that to have an impact on our team. So his personality and the edge that he plays with, filters through our team, and that we've got a team that can reflect some of that. As Spencer has gotten to the point now as a redshirt junior, that's something that we're going to need out of him. And Isaiah, and I've talked about him quite a bit at times in the past, and he showed a year ago his ability defensively, and in particular late in the year, and I think everybody probably remembers the performance he had against Evansville defensively. Some of the games that I've watched recently, that was one of them, and the impact that he had on that basketball game, the job that he did on Ryan Taylor in that game, is something that Isaiah and I have talked about a lot. And He's looking forward to that challenge as we head into this year of being our best defensive player. We've talked to him about finding a way to be on the all-defensive team in our league, getting in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. Those are things that he should be thinking about. We also feel like it's important that he doesn't limit his improvement, his development, his next step, if you will, that he doesn't limit it to the defensive end of the floor. He's a very talented young man, and so him expanding his game offensively, allowing his versatility to impact what we're doing as a team. So we've got a lot of things on his plate right now, but feel like he's ready to take those things on. Luke McDonald, Justin Dahl, Miles Wenseen, Lincoln Connery, all four of those guys as returners have gotten better. All four of them are playing as well as they have played in their time here. Luke is a skilled inside guy for us, and we've seen some of Luke the past couple years. I know he's excited to earn some more time and to be a bigger part of the rotation, and he is playing right now as well as he has played in his time with us. Justin Dahl, he just brings a different feel to things. He's got size that you don't see very often. At 7 foot and 255 pounds is a guy that simply with that size able to make a difference in how the game feels. And he is in the best shape that he's been in. He's had his best practices here in the last 4 or 5 days and has really made some good strides. Miles is, I think all the guys would tell you, if you ask them when you go down there, I think they would all tell you that he is a favorite of all of theirs. And he's an easy guy to like, an easy guy to root for. Works extremely hard, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't find a way into our rotation in some way, shape, or form. And then Lincoln Connery is he could be the most improved guy from a year ago until right now. His athleticism has changed tremendously. He's shooting the ball very well. Just put in a lot of time, a lot of work. He's worked hard on his body, and really proud of Lincoln for the changes he's made. A couple team observations with the roster that we've got. Our offense is going to look different. We will the pace of play for us will look different. Will be different. This roster is better built to do that. Make some of the changes that I briefly referred to in terms of the game. I think we've all seen it, where a lot of times you've got 4 guards on the floor and you've got a center on the floor. More times than not right now, that center is pretty skilled. So you're able to do more things in transition. You're able to do more things in moving the ball side to side. We've got a number of guys on this roster that fit that. So offensively, we've practiced differently. We feel like we're going to look different at that end of the floor in terms of increasing the pace of play. Defensively, we've got a lot to learn. Anytime you've got a number of new guys on your roster, boy, there's a lot of things that go into being a good defensive team. And so there's a lot of learning going on right now at the defensive end of the floor. And as much as the game has changed, and we've had some different stretches in practice where we've seen it, and it almost gets going up and down so fast it feels a little bit like a pickup game. And I want to pull my hair out just a little bit, but so far it's the change on the offensive end has been good. But what we can tell you from our staff standpoint, at the defensive end of the floor is where championships are won. And just because the game has changed a lot in the last 20 years, 10 years, in the last 3 years even, we don't feel like the road to a championship has changed, and in terms of being a team at the defensive end of the floor that can hold down the fort. And so we'll continue to hammer away at that defensive end of the floor. The other, just a couple more things. The other 3 things we're talking to this group a lot about, and I think in large part because this roster is made up of guys, and look, tremendously skilled, and guys that are easy to like, and guys that are working extremely hard. There's a lot of reasons for us as a staff to look forward to getting to practice and being on the practice floor with these guys. And but 3 things that we are talking to them quite a bit about is the process. And when you're young, when you're new, and there's so many things that you've got to learn, sometimes that gets in the way of playing really hard. And we aren't at the point yet where we've been able to combine the 2. Being able to be where we're supposed to be, having a great understanding of how to do that individually and as a team, and competing at the highest level that we're capable of. You hope to get to that point as soon as you can. When you get to that point, you then have an opportunity as an individual to impact your teammates and impact what's going on around you. So the sooner you can get guys to that point, the better. And right now we're still with quite a few guys. We're still in that first part of the process where a lot of things are new, and it interrupts sometimes just playing as hard as you can possibly play. So we're going to keep working on that part of it. Accountability is another area that we've stressed a lot. And really narrowing it all the way down to personal accountability. When something doesn't go quite right, which is going to happen quite a bit when you're new and when you're learning, when it doesn't go quite right, working to move on to what the solution is and figuring out how we're going to do it better next time, and not having your first thought be it was someone else's fault or am I to blame, who's to blame for what happened. From an accountability standpoint, we want our guys to, you're going to make mistakes, and we want them to understand that it doesn't have to be anyone's fault. We need to figure out what the solution is. We need to figure it out fast. We need to move on to the next play, and that can be difficult when you're younger and there's so many things being thrown at you. And then the last one's, working through some adversity. And ours, to this point has been putting them at a disadvantage in some drills on the practice court, and But this group has got we've got some work to do here. Being able to fight through some things, whether that is in the half court defending a ball screen and getting a rebound and finishing off a possession and being able to do it 4 out of 5 times. Start to run up and down, and as soon as you do, forget about what you're supposed to do, guarding your own guy, getting to a help position, blocking somebody out. Putting them at a disadvantage in a drill where they've got a lot more to do to win a drill than the team does on offense. Just finding some different ways to put them in that position, where we can create some adversity for them and helping them understand, how to best handle that. And we've got some work to do there. Most of it to do with, again, having some young guys, having some new guys. It doesn't take away from what I've mentioned. Having a roster full of guys that are highly skilled and we feel like going to be a lot of fun to watch. Last couple things, and then I'll open it up for questions. Trey Croft will not be down on the floor today. Trey is suspended from all team activities at this time, so you will not see him down on the floor. Austin Fife will be down there. Austin, for about 5 weeks now, has been in and out of practice a little bit. He's been to practice and he's been around, dealing with some health issues not related to a basketball injury at all. If Austin wants to talk some more about that, he can. He's doing okay health-wise. His health is not in any jeopardy. They feel like they've got it pinpointed. But I'll let, if you want to ask Austin a little bit more about it, you can do that when you go down there. But he's been in and out of practice because of the health issue. Taiwan is, I think some of you may have read or seen, Ty had foot surgery just about I think Friday will be 6 weeks. He's about 2 weeks away from being cleared if everything continues to go well. His rehab has been good. He's worked extremely hard on his conditioning, everything that he's able to do with the injury and with coming back from the surgery he's been doing. But he's, like I said, he's about 2 weeks away from being cleared. And then about 10 days ago, we had our walk-on tryout, and we've added 3 guys through our walk-on tryout. Those guys will be down there today. Donovan Holterhouse from Pella High School. Donovan's a sophomore. Malik Haynes from Kennedy. Malik's a sophomore as well. And then Court Christensen, who's a senior from Belmont Clemmy, and he was at Nyack before he came here. So those 3 young guys will be down there as well. With that, I would take your questions. Thanks again for being here today.